This podcast is presented by Win City Sports.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to the CCC's Interviews. Today I got Mike Carter. Mike Carter was a professional football player in the Canadian Football League for 7 seasons, and he also won a Grey Cup with the Edmonton Eskimos. Got a chance to sit down with him, talk about some specific things about coaching, work ethic, motivation, and how boxing helped him on the football field. All right, let's get into it. All right, Mr. Carter, CFL veteran, football expert. How you doing?
Good, and yourself?
Good, man. I'm good. All right, let's get right into it, man. I'm always interested to improve my coaching knowledge, learning from coaches in other sports and great athletes in front that played other sports too. You were a professional football player for a few years. You played football your whole life, played on a few championship teams. Specifically about coaching, what do you see is the difference between regular coaches and championship level coaches?
I think it's a fine line between regular coaches and championship coaches. I don't want to lie to people and tell them that it's some big difference, or it's something that's so immaculate that only
I did press record. All right, my bad. Go ahead.
That only have. That's not the case. Most of the time, it's the coaches that could get the best out of their players. So whether that's, you could scream at this guy and he's going to respond the right way, or you got to talk to this guy the way he'll respond. Not only that, the players have to respect the coach. So the coach has to do what he says and say what he does, right? You can't have someone saying, "Yeah, I'm going to be behind you guys 110%," and then if something happens, he turns his back on you. You want someone that you could trust. The last thing that I say is a coach that makes it a family atmosphere, like family orientated. Mm-hmm. That's the biggest thing, because you could give up on yourself, but you won't give up on your family. You won't give up on anybody else that you care for, or at least you shouldn't.
Yeah. So when you bring up the family thing, as you're speaking more of everyone works harder when we're working together, as far as just everyone going for their own individual.
Absolutely. And not only that, it could be a boxing family. I know that boxers are single sports, right? It's not a team sport, but at the same time, like if you do the Windsor Amateur Boxing Club, I'll run to casino back. I can't quit, even if I want to quit, because I owe it to Hunter, I owe it to Carlito, I owe it to Keoma, I owe it to you, I owe it to you know what I'm trying to say? In that sense, that's what pushes you, because a lot of people will quit on themselves, but you ain't quitting on your family. You ain't quitting on other people that you see are doing this work and putting in that work. Yeah. So that's one of the biggest things I learned from the 2 best coaches I've ever been coached by, Chris Jones and Mark Tressman. And 2 totally different people. One's a fiery guy, and one's a calm, woo-saw. So, sorry about that.
No, it's all good. Take care of him. Take care of him.
Crazy. Those are the 2 biggest things that I've learned. Like I was saying, Mark Tressman, he was more of a Gandhi guy, and then Chris Jones was a fiery guy. So Tressman would show us plays of people that might not get the ball. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, there's a flood concept.
Oh, the other little things you're talking about. Yes. Okay. Go ahead.
You go corner and out. The guy that's running the go most likely ain't getting the ball, but he's running at full speed, right, to get someone else open.
Yes. So
that's one of the biggest things that coaches make great teams do. Everybody's not equal, but they are equal. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So even if you're not getting the ball, you're still going 100% because your effort still makes the play happen.
Yes, absolutely.
Interesting. Nice, man. Nice.
You all right, boy? Yeah.
Is he trying to sleep?
Yeah, no, my dog's just going crazy. I don't know.
Wants you to pay attention to him, not to talk to somebody on some computer.
Yeah. So,
Next thing is about work ethic, and you can answer this specifically about, for any kids listening right now with aspirations of becoming a professional athlete. Specifically about yourself first. Were you one of the athletes, like, were you just always better than your competition, or did you have to work hard to get to where for everything that you accomplished? And the second part to that, you can kind of answer it together. And I guess you wouldn't be able to have a specific number statistic, but as far as, just guessing, since you play at the highest level, what is the percentage between athletes that are just pure talented? Everyone works hard, but some guys just have that extra talent versus the guys that might not have that talent, but actually worked hard to get to where they got. So first, maybe speak about yourself, and then as far as what you see at the highest.
So for me, myself, I've been gifted athletically. Don't get it twisted at all. I'm very gifted athletically, but I did have to work for everything I got. I wasn't given anything. My first year ever playing football was in grade 9. I broke my femur. That's the biggest bone in your body. Then I came back in grade 11. I got benched. I didn't play because they didn't know who I was. It's crazy. I worked very, very hard during that off season, running, doing DB drills, running hills, doing a lot of things with one of my best friends, Tom Bachia. And what's crazy is he faked the injury to get me into the game.
That's real. Wow.
Yeah. The thing about that is I could have got in the game and not been ready. But because of my preparation, because of what I was doing in the off season, training, and knowing that this opportunity is going to come and seizing that moment, I was able to get first play. They threw to me 95 yards interception for a touchdown. Second play, 40-yard interception for a touchdown. And that's how I was born, right? But there's a lot of things like you look at Tom Brady. How did Tom Brady get into it? Drew Bledsoe got hurt. Boom, he comes in, wins them the game. So you got to be ready.
Take advantage of that one opportunity.
Absolutely. And you might not get that opportunity again. So for me, it's been embedded in me, and it's like innate for me to work hard. I've been working hard my whole life. Everything I've had to work hard. Surrounded around athletes, great athletes, as family members, as best friends, and all this stuff. It's all competition. So the work ethic for me is about competition. I just don't like to lose. As an athlete, I never thought I was going to go pro. I knew I wanted to go D1. That was it. And then from D1, I worked very, very hard, and then I was able to accomplish that. But I didn't. That wasn't my main goal. My main goal was to go D1 and be the best I could be there. And then as far as the second question that you're talking about, what's the percentage of players that are just athletically gifted and don't play and don't try? I can't give you the percentage, but what I can tell you is this. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard, and that's been proven over and over and over and over. Tom Brady was a 6th-round pick. He wasn't supposed to be a 6 Super Bowl champion. Then we could go to people that are physically gifted. Allen Iverson, which is my favorite athlete, basketball player. He got Mr. Basketball in the state of Virginia and Mr. Football in the state of Virginia.
Football.
When Mike Vick was playing. That's what people don't know. Mike Vick was there.
Wow.
So that tells you a lot. And guess what happened with him? He never won a championship. I'm not saying he didn't work hard.
We
do know that he never won a championship. We do know that there was things that he said like practice. So that tells you a lot. And that's one of the most gifted people in the world.
You know what? Real quick, my bad for cutting you off. Specifically about that statement, what I think is, and you could definitely attest to this too, speak on it. Like, I think some athletes have been so gifted, like, like for some other players, like they have other players they can look up to that are better than them, to that they can work hard to. But like some gifted athletes, if you've been the best player, like you were just the best player on every team you ever played on. So like you didn't. I'm talking about specifically about Iverson. Like
maybe he didn't have to rely so much on practice, even, especially because he was still performing in the games. Because I think what he meant by that whole practice thing was like, yo, like, you see the numbers I'm putting up. Like, when that interview happened, the year before he got MVP, led his team to the finals the year before that. So he's like, you guys talking to me about practice? Like, you see the numbers I'm putting up? But I think inside of his head, he doesn't, and not just him, but just some athletes that are gifted like that. I heard Shaq didn't even practice either. He was just gifted like that too.
Yes.
They don't understand that some people actually do have to practice to get better, right? So the practice aspect for them is not as important as it was for someone like Jordan or Kobe who.
So you're absolutely right in saying that, but this is the biggest thing. The greats, I'm talking about the all-time greats, don't say that, because I'll give you just a little statistic.
You're right.
In any sport that you play, okay, watch this. Let's talk about boxing. In boxing, there's 12 rounds, right? To prepare for a fight, do you only spar 12 rounds?
Nah.
You get more work in sparring in practice than you do in the fight to prepare you for the game. The game is
the easiest part of the whole thing.
So when I hear people say practice, that's why I used to practice hard. That's why I told you my junior year when I got benched at the University of Maryland, which was one of the hardest things I've ever had to go through. That was the year that I made my biggest breakthroughs. That was the year what catapulted me into being a starter the next year, and then being able to go to the CFL, and then being able to do all those things. Because without me practicing Monday through Friday like it was my game, I wouldn't have been able to sharpen my skills. So when you speak about practice, when you hear Mamba mentality, Kobe Bryant, rest in peace, when he says he used to wake up at 4:30 in the morning, practice until 6:30, and then fly his helicopter back to go take his daughters to school, and then come back and practice. When you add up the 4:30, 5:30, 6:30, those 3 hours over a year, how many more hours do I have in practice than you to hone my skills? So that's what, for me, makes practice so important. That's why hard work for me is the only thing that will get a person that is trying to attain certain things, which might be going pro, D1, whatever the case might be. That's why it's important. You have to have that grind, because guess what? There's going to be times where you don't want to wake up. There's going to be times where you don't want to run. But guess what? Me wanting to be great overcomes my mindset of, oh, I'm tired. Oh, I'm this. That doesn't even go through my head. I don't want to run. I don't want to practice, but I have to, because I know that's what's going to make me great.
Yeah. I hear that. I respect that. Can you talk a little bit about, again, for any kids listening right now, trying to stay focused, about how important it is to have a good support system around you, not necessarily your family. See, like, some people can't choose if your family will support you. That's who you live with. But as far as people that you hang out with, because I know you had a good support system, and not just football players. You have people that played other sports too.
Yes.
Just speak a little bit on that, about how, just to help you stay focused and stay on the right path.
So, you never like to listen to your parents, but my mom always used to tell me birds of a feather flock together. When I was younger, I didn't understand it, but now that I'm older, I do. I had friends that were in the streets. I had friends that did a lot of legal things. But when it came to me, I had my cousins. I had OJ, Steven Adamolu, my cousin. I had Nicholas Adamolu. I had Tung. I had a lot of guys that were older than me, whether it was 1 year older or 3 years older, that set the bar. My cousins didn't drink or smoke. So at a young age, I didn't drink or smoke. So I was around people that had the same goal and mindset and aspirations as me, which was to go D1, not to go pro, to go D1. So the people that I hung around which was only one, Chris Rambakamba, would have to be willing to do the same things I would do. So I got to go work out.
Yeah.
I ain't got time for this. I got to go work out. I got to go get these drills.
Yeah.
And then I can make time for this, and that. But if you weren't on my same wavelength, if you weren't thinking the same thing as me, I can't chill with you because guess what? You're just bringing me down.
Mm.
You're not going to do anything but bring me down. I can't be around you.
Yeah.
So I was only around like-minded people. Millionaires don't chill with bums or homeless people, right? They chill with other millionaires. Homeless people chill with homeless people.
Mm-hmm.
To get yourself out of that, if you want to be a millionaire, you got to surround yourself around successful millionaires. Pick their brain. Wait, how did you become this? How did you do this? What business did you do? Mm-hmm. That's how you got to be great. And it's the same thing with football. It's the same thing with sports.
Yeah.
Football in general. I had to go to OJ. He did it. OJ, what do I got to do? What do I got to do? Just like a sponge, right?
Yeah. Interesting. Nice, man. All right, man. Next question is about motivation. So you're officially retired now, right? You're officially retired.
Yeah.
But you still work out hard, like you're still trying to get drafted. You're running your miles every day. Coming to when the gym's open, when the gym opens.
Yeah.
But you were consistently at the boxing gym. You're training all the time, even though you're retired. What exactly is your I mean, obviously everyone still likes to work out, but like you work again, like I wasn't just saying that to be funny, man. You work out hard, like you're still trying to get drafted. What is your motivation now to keep working hard?
I just think it's been in me. It's been embedded in me to just want to be the best. I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose in anything. I'm very competitive. I don't like when OJ comes down and thinks he's a man and he's going to box me up. I don't like that. I don't like to lose in races. I don't like to lose in miles. And I just think that it keeps you intact. Not only that, I've been doing it for so long, so now it's a part of me. It's not something that you could just turn off. You can't just flip the switch and be like, okay, I'm done. I don't need to work out anymore. No, that's a part of me. I'm always going to be fit. I'm always going to work out. I'm always going to want to be the best.
You see that? I mean, yeah, I wish all athletes had the attitude because, you see a lot of pros as soon as they retire, that's the last time they pick up a weight or run a sprint. And then not even a couple years later, they're up by like 50 pounds.
Yeah. So when that happens, you start to think like, does this guy really love his sport? Or was he doing it for the money? What was he doing it for? For me, I got it. I got to compete. Like after I stopped playing football, I was like, where's my next place that I can compete? Whether it was boxing, which that's something big, basketball. I'm in a league. Now there's these running apps, like who could run the most. So it's just, for me, it's just all competition. And
that general competition.
That all helps me out with the things that I want to do, right? So.
Nice, man. All right, now specifically about boxing, I always explain to athletes in other sports how, specific boxing drills can help with their hand-eye coordination, footwork, agility, obviously the stamina part. Everyone knows the stamina part, but the other specific things. I got the opportunity to work with you for, throughout your career. Can you just speak a little bit specifically on how boxing helped you on the football field? And just before you answer that, because one way that I try to separate myself from other trainers, from other boxing coaches and trainers, because I see a lot of other pro athletes do boxing, from Tom Brady to even LeBron, Tim Duncan, D'Angelo Hall, bunch of professional athletes. But when I see them doing the drills with the coach, like I could tell like they're just going to whatever coach is in the area that they live in, right? Because I can tell that the coach is not really explaining to them. They're just putting them through a boxing drill, letting them hit the bag and do some pads, but they're not really explaining to them how these drills will help them onto the field.
Yeah.
The way that I separate myself is I try to, because I'm a trainer and a boxing coach, so I try to make sure to explain to you guys how these drills is going to help you in your sport. Anyways, my bad. My bad.
No, I hear exactly what you're saying.
Speak specifically about yourself.
For me, as soon as I started working with you, I could see my my productivity going up, whether it was interception, pass breakups, tackling, get my hands on the ball. That's one of the big things that we got to do, get our hands on the ball.
That comes from the specifically the double end bag.
Yes, the double end bag is one of the
target.
Because I got to strike, move the target, and it's moving, right? Same thing with the football, right? I don't know where that football is going to be when I'm guarding that wide receiver. I got to turn my head and look up. Same visual with the double end bag. My reaction is better. And with that, in turn, just with the jabs, straight rights, all those things are the same mechanics that you use to jam, to press technique. The footwork, never crossing over. All that stuff is applied directly from boxing to football, right on the football field.
Yeah.
Along with your hips, exploding through a tackle, punches, you're using your hips, your power's coming through your hips. So a lot of that is directly correlated with boxing. A lot of athletes cross-train. A lot of athletes, and this is something that all these kids need to understand, there's not one athlete that came out of Windsor that is that dude that only played one sport. Basketball, football, track, soccer, baseball, whatever the case might be, boxing.
Exactly, and the reason why you're bringing it up is because the athleticness and the agility that you get from playing these other sports
absolutely
helps. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I got you. So yeah, man, and the from the footwork drills to the hand-eye coordination, all that stuff. Even stuff like deflecting a pass. The
double end bag
reflexes from that double end bag. When we're
directly correlated.
When we're doing the pads, going from offense to defense, like you said, you got to be able to turn around real quick and then turn and see where the receiver is and react to him.
Yes.
All that's from boxing, man.
Absolutely. And one of the big things that I would tell anybody that's listening out there, if you have a chance and you're in Windsor, definitely come to SED for the boxing, for your sport. And if you aren't in Windsor, you got to get with the boxing coach, because the cardio, just the hand-eye reflexes, especially the only sport that isn't hand-eye reflexes is soccer, and that's eye-to-foot reflexes, which is some of the best athletes, right? So if you are playing a sport with hand-eye, you need to get with a boxing coach. It'll improve your numbers for sure, whatever sport it is, whether it's hitting a baseball, whether it's catching a football, whether it's basketball, stealing, all that stuff is the same. So.
All right, man. Thank you, man. Thank you. And I know you're doing some training too. If anybody wants to get a hold of you for training, your social media or anything like that.
Yeah, they can hit me up on Instagram. It's young YUNG_Carter 26. Yeah, we just do a little bit of speed and agility training, stuff like that for the kids, for the youth. So other than that, yeah.
Cool, man. Cool. All right, man. Thanks. This is not the last time you're going to be on here. This was just a little introduction. I'm going to have you as a regular guest to talk more about boxing. I know your favorite boxer is Terrence Crawford.
Hey, you already know that money. Hey, when Terrence fights Earl Spence, whoever's betting, come to me, please. That's all I say.
Yes. That is the next great fight. That will happen. Anyways, we're not going to get into all that right now. Yeah. I'm sure. Let's just say it will happen. I'm confident it will happen, man.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Thank you, Mike. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Peace. Bye.
1, 2, 3, smack that thumbs up for this video. Smack it, baby!